Hi, this is Weekly Reflections, and I'm Nancy Joy, back with you right before the first full moon of 2014, which is the 15th or 16th of this coming week, depending on where you live. And I myself have had quite a journey, as sometimes happens leading up to this full moon, and feel it has shifted. I was stripped and had to go down to some deep caverns inside myself, remaining things I thought I had no charge about came roaring up. And I think now maybe I really don't have a charge about them. We'll see. So I don't know how your journey has been this week. There was a tremendous amount of CMEs over the past week that affected physical symptoms and affected us in energetic ways, and that's for sure too. So here's what I want to talk about. One, it was brought back to my attention, one of Ezekiel's favorite topics, often with sessions and with me. He calls them the two big T's. And he makes a clear point that you need to have the two big T's straightened out and understand them from the higher perspective, and that is trust and truth. And, they're bantered about quite a bit. You didn't trust me. You didn't tell me the truth. How can I trust you? On and on and on like that. And, of course, then you get into the black and white of our legal system. But that's a very dense vibration of the two words, trust and truth. And the mastery, the higher conscious understanding and way to vibrate with trust and truth is what we want to talk about today. So first one we're going to talk about is truth. And to check my notes here. David Wilcox, who's a leading edge scientist and a deeply conscious being. I don't know if you follow his wisdom teachings or the source field and all kinds of, he's written many, many books. And I listened to his wisdom teachings on Gaiam TV. And you should check them out. They're so excellent. And he was explaining about the geometry attached to words and their feelings. And he was talking about the extraterrestrials and do you believe them, don't. And he said this, and it's so very true. He said that truth is what's true for you at this time in your growth. End of story. Therefore, we're all sort of at different places, and we're all going to have different truths. You can say there's a main truth, like there are no ETs, but now we know there are ETs, or the world is flat. Well, we know now it isn't. So truths are really waypoints in your journey into consciousness. And so given that, for example, let's take Santa Claus. To a very little child, 1 to 2 years old, he is terrifying. I've seen my grandchildren, all three of them, go through, oh my God, being put on his lap and screaming. They're terrified. Then they get a little older. Wow. Their truth then is, this guy's really cool. He's coming down the chimney leaving us lots of presents. Then they get a little older and they kind of get befuddled and think, wow, that was a fraud. Mom and Dad are Santa. That's a real fraud, and they get a little angry about it. And then as you mature, the mature version of Santa Claus is he's a metaphor for love, compassion, and giving. And so it depends where you are in your consciousness, how you're going to view Santa Claus, right? So it's the same with everything. And so be very, very careful as you step into 2014 about the word truth and judging people. They may not be where you're at, and what you have to master is holding a space of love and allowing them your journey, using discernment. If asked, respond and share. If there's no open door, your opinion is not needed. Now, if you have something to share on a wide frame, there's Facebook and YouTube and all those great things. People are writing up a storm, and that's terrific. Blogging. But in individual relationships, a mastery of truth is to understand it's true for you at this period in your growth, and that's the same for everyone else. Okay, let's move on to the second T. The second T is a little bit tougher in some ways because it's trust. And that word's bantered about quite a bit. How can I trust you? Are you going to trust me? And so we have to really take a step back and look at the higher vibration of trust. And Ezekiel has always said in workshops and private sessions, trust is never about anybody but yourself. if your heart or your God self, your soul, led you to an experience that felt like a betrayal, that felt like someone you trusted betrayed you, or you now have a lack of trust toward that person, or afraid they're going to react like this again, you have to step up to the plate and take responsibility and trust in your own self, in your own heart, that that was exactly what you needed to step into to continue growing. So when you project trust and truth out onto others and you don't embody it in your own being, you're going to be held up on your journey. And it's not easy, especially I think almost the journey of trust, because it takes quite a bit of self-mastery, and the journey of trust can be perilous at times. If you dance its dance, you're ultimately going to come to embrace it and understand it. And when it comes up now for me with relationships and conversations, I really am mostly able to put it in a very conscious place. And this makes life so much easier. So as you're moving into 2014, remember the higher perspective of the two big T's. Whether you're reading a blog on the internet, whether you're reading about the Illuminati or the currency revalue, or you're having a discussion with your partner or your child or your sibling, and this comes up, always take a breath, go back to that space. Truth and trust, they're really what's inside of you. They're your perspective. They're where your heart's guided you. And those around you are players in your drama, players in your play. And so they are your triggers. They are your teachers. And you are the one growing and learning and moving into self-mastery. So I hope that's helpful for you. I know I had to revisit that this week. And it's been a little bit of a theme in the sessions I'm doing also. So don't forget the free sessions. Still available. I lost some emails, so if you sent me an email and didn't hear from me, please send another. Egypt, of course, please check it out. We are recalibrating the vortexes from the Kabbalistic energy that's been held on to it for so long, so it's an important journey. And one more thing I want to share. Ezekiel has guided me. I'm going to do a conference call. He's going to channel about the dinar. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. Not interested in it. But if you have an interest in it, let me know and I will get you the conference call number to be on that call. I'm going out of focus. Is that Ezekiel? I don't know what's going on with this camera. Maybe it's the CMEs. Anyway, get a hold of me if that's of any interest to you. Also, for those who get my email, I will post the conference call number. So that's coming up the next week or two. Have a great week, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.